Hello, this is Delia again. I'm reading The Struggle on Chapter 6. This is Part 3. Let's see where we was. Oh, brother, said Ed, and Stephen turned a laugh into a cough. He wasn't amused, though, and his question to Bonnie hadn't been an idle curiosity. Elena could tell. She could feel it radiating from him. All right, I read all that. Okay, it was strange, him acting as if the party was a spontaneous idea in our class, she said, responding unconsciously to Stephen's unspoken words, when obviously it had been planned. What's even stranger is the idea that the school would hire a teacher without telling him how the previous teacher died, and Stephen, everyone was talking about it. It must have been in the papers. But not all the details, said Bonnie firmly. In fact, there are things the police still haven't left out because they think it might help them catch the killer. For instance, she dropped her voice. Do you know what Mary said? Dr. Feinberg was talking to the guy who did the autopsy, medical examiner, and he said that there was no blood left in the body at all, not a drop. Elena felt an icy wind blow through her, as if she stood once again in the graveyard. She couldn't speak, but Ed said, Where'd he go? Well, all over the floor, I suppose, said Bonnie calmly. All over the altar and everything. That's what the police are investigating now. But it's unusual for a corpse not to have any blood left. Usually there's some that settles down on the underside of the body. Post-mortem lividity, it's called. It looks like big purple bruises. What's wrong? Your incredible sensitivity has me ready to throw up, said Meredith in a strangled voice. Could we possibly talk about something else? You weren't the one with blood all over you, Bonnie began, but Stephen interrupted her. Have the investigators come to any conclusion from what they've learned? Are they any closer to finding the killer? I don't know, said Bonnie, and then she brightened. That's right, Elena. You said you knew. Shut up, Bonnie, said Elena desperately. If there ever were a place not to discuss this, it was in a crowded room surrounded by people who hated Stephen. Bonnie's eyes widened, and then she nodded, subsiding. Elena could not relax, though. Stephen hadn't killed Mr. Tanner, and yet the same evidence that would lead to Damon could as easily lead to him, and would lead to him because no one but she and Stephen knew of Damon's existence.
Previously on the Vampire Diaries, for over a century, I have lived in secret until now. I know the list, but I have to know her. Lena, she's a dead ringer for Kat.
You have no idea of the future I have planned for us. You,
I've been lost where I was at.
Catherine wasn't real, David. Catherine never compelled me. I knew everything was real for me. I'm gonna bring her back. Tell me how to get in the tip. The grimoire. Where is it? Check the journal.
Well,
I gave it to my history teacher. Alaric Saltzman. Damon. To the grimoire.
oh, okay, right here it is. Stephen knew of Damon's existence. He was out there, somewhere in the shadows, waiting for his next victim. Maybe waiting for Stephen or for her. I'm hot, she said abruptly. I think I'll go see what kind of refreshments Alaric has provided. Stephen started to rise, but Elena waved him back down. He wouldn't have any use for potato chips and punch, and she wanted to be alone for a few minutes. To be moving instead of sitting to calm herself. Being with Meredith and Bonnie had given her a false sense of security. Leaving them, she was once again confronted by sidelong glances and suddenly turnbacks. I gotta stop here, and this will be coming up the next part.